Before we launch our final attack on the enemy base, I want to introduce you to a new kind of unit, flying units. So far, all the combat units we've made walk or roll along the ground. But flying units fly through the air and can ignore a lot of terrain elements like cliffs and ramps. Now, in order to build flying units as a Protoss player, we need to build a Stargate. If I select one probe, and I left-click on the Build Structure button, and we look through the list of all the available buildings, we'll see that there is no building here called Stargate. That is because the Stargate is not in the normal Build Structure menu. Instead, we have to click the Cancel button here to go back to the probe's main command card, and we have to look at the Advanced Structures menu right here. If I left-click on this, we can see a whole list of more advanced tech structures that Protoss have access to that unlock all kinds of more powerful combat units. For our purposes, what's important is the Stargate, so we're going to left-click on the Warp In Stargate button. As usual, we now have to select a position to place our Stargate, and we can't put it on top of our minerals or on top of our Nexus, and we can't put it outside a power field either. We do need to put it within the power field from the pylon. Fortunately, we placed the pylon next to our Nexus here earlier, so we can put the Stargate right over here. This will do as a location. And now we send our probe back to mining with a right click, and the Stargate will start warping in. Once that's done, we can start building some air units out of it. While we wait, I'm going to go back into our main base, I'm going to select our gateway, and I'm going to build a couple of zealots out of this gateway, I'm going to build a couple of dragoons out of this gateway, and I'm going to take the opportunity to build some pylons too. Because, again, we want to make sure we never get supply blocked. And I did pull this probe out of mining gas to build the pylons, I'm going to put him back into mining gas now. The Stargate's almost done. When the Stargate's finished, we're going to build a flying unit, which is called a Scout. There are several different Protoss flying units, but the Scout is the one we're going to build today. So here's the Scout. I'm going to left-click to queue up a couple of Scouts. Protoss Scouts aren't the greatest of units. They're really a bit too expensive for what they do, but they can attack ground, they can attack air, and they have an okay amount of health, and of course, they can fly, as I've been saying. So we need to wait for these Scouts to finish up. In the meantime, I'm going to select the combat units that we've been building by our gateways, and I'm going to move them down to the low ground just by right-clicking, so we can get them in position, ready to launch the next attack we're going to launch. And I'm also going to select our Nexus and build some more probes. It's always a good idea to have more workers. Lots of workers means lots of resources coming in, which means you can build more things. Our first Scout is finished. If I left-click on it to select it, and I'm going to move it around with some right clicks. So you'll notice, as I'm moving the Scout around, it completely ignores these cliffs here. It can fly right over them. Most of the combat units, most of the ground units we've dealt with so far, have had to come down this ramp to get to the low ground. Scouts don't care about ramps. Flying units can go where they want, whenever they want. And let's get these probes that we just built to start mining, so they can be being useful. Okay, so we built our first flying unit, our second Scout's going to be done soon, and when it's done we will be launching our attack on the enemy base for the final episode of the introduction to the Protoss race.